we meet again on this Mindset Monday. Let's just talk about mental breakdowns. I wanted to give you a little word of advice coming from somebody who has many mental breakdowns. Hey, you could call that a part of my profession. Let me chill now. Chill. Okay. So yeah, we're going to be talking about mental breakdowns. Stay to the end and hopefully you will see me go through one, maybe, and also how I overcome them and leverage them in my life so that they don't destroy it, but they actually help ultimately build something up. First off, don't try to have a mental breakdown. I don't think anybody tries to have a mental break. I don't think that's something that it just doesn't really work like that. So I realize happy full moon in Scorpio, lunar, blood moon, eclipse, all of that stuff. You may be one of the people that feel heightened senses of emotions during these astrological events. And they may cause you to feel emotionally and mentally not very grounded or stable. More like water, just washing one side to the other. I feel like that right now. And I'm being with this feeling, and it is a feeling. And right now, we're feeling the feelings, okay? We're feeling the... And no need to try to have a mental breakdown for the effectiveness of this video, I say. Just tapping into the emotions. We will be doing a meditation towards the end of this video to just ground into feeling okay with whatever emotions come your way. This might be... There's a lot of things I could say that I feel like are affecting the way that I feel right now. And they're mostly things that I could say are external factors, but they're also internal factors. Now, I am going to take a moment to just breathe with you, fam, because there's no need to really think about what's causing the mental breakdown that much. I mean, you should identify it in terms of giving it a label so that you can kind of make sure that you close that cycle and you're aware of what was triggering that in the first place. But sometimes your emotions just go, and you gotta go with your emotions. And so that's where we're feeling right now. I realize that some of the triggers, and let's identify them, are, it's just a lot of emotions, a lot of energy. I apologize if this doesn't seem very organized, but I mean, you did click on a video that said mental breakdown, so I'm mildly allowing my mind to just kind of do its thing. And I know that there's no need for me to resist if I feel the need to cry or to scream or to just express the emotions. Yesterday, I shared a light language transmission about tapping more into expressing your sacred sacral energy, and tapping into the throat. Now, it's no wonder why today I'm feeling a little bit like those emotions are really rising up and want to be expressed and acknowledged. that's to be expected. I think that there was a time where I would freak out and like try to deny myself having mental breakdowns, or deny myself from just going not the traditional way with my mind or where things were going, you know, just kind of all over the place. And I would really try to like force myself in this box to just society, the Matrix, just right, just like to like, maybe that is normal, maybe that's like how it's supposed to be in terms of expression. But yeah, I think that it's important to know that most people don't show what's going on internally in their emotions in the public eye that much. You know, I've never seen a president cry yet. And Isaiah, that's really beautiful. Just being able to surrender and to feel supported by spirit and know that like they do, like God does love you so much, and that's why you can kind of trust in the experience and the feelings and the emotions that you're feeling, and release is a big one. Release is a big one. I used to like just hold on so tightly to this idea that I had to keep my shit together, because obviously people having mental breakdowns, it's not a good look, my friend, but it happens. And yeah, learning to be on the other side of that. So adding the vibration for anybody watching. Yes, this is a safe space. If you having a mental breakdown with me, just let it go, let it flow, because yeah, holding on to that energy does not, you think that it just, and that's okay. And that's okay. I'm realizing that you don't have to be okay. It's so cliche, you know, you don't have, it's okay not to be okay. It still sucks though, and it's a part of processing the lower energies. Sometimes we may not want to process the lower energies because they don't feel as pleasant as higher vibing energies, but they're still a part of our experience and we still have to feel them. So take space to process them. And sometimes that means that you will cry or scream or just go numb for a moment. And it sucks, but it's okay. It's okay. And to do these things, I think, are a blessing while we're alive. It's a part of the human experience. And we're humans. We're not robots. If a robot, I would say the equivalent of a mental breakdown for a robot is when it just kind of shuts off. It's just overloading in terms of the processing, so it reboots itself. Similar with us, when we go through a mental breakdown, it's usually because there's like more stimulation or emotions than we can handle to process at that time, or we just don't want to process them. And it can be really tricky when you kind of feel something, you're like, I don't want to feel this, and then you start amplifying that energy. And so just allowing yourself to feel it, and I am being reminded every day, is the best way to just feel it. You don't have to run away from how you feel. You don't have to explain or justify it. You don't have to know why you feel the way that you do, though it does help to have, you could say, a label for the triggers that cause you to feel certain emotional states. you don't always have to have that. You don't have to look so deep into it. You can just breathe and be okay. I feel like humans are kind of very fragile creatures. Not just physically, but like emotionally and mentally as well. And so it's kind of such a blessing that we are in such a balanced timeline where we can experience so many different energies and be resilient. What do I feel when you think of black fire? Being guided to work with that here. That's really interesting visualization, Isaiah. I think that is a beautiful form of resistance. Black fire kind of reminds me of, well, I'm getting like the meme, burn it with fire. But then also there's like kind of this resistance of like, I just put it away. Like I put it away. And so that's a big one. I think that, okay, so yeah, there's a lot of things that can trigger a mental breakdown. It really depends who you are and where your weak points are and what you find maybe more difficult to process, what vibrations you find more difficult to process. You can have a mental breakdown with just positive vibrations as well. It's just when your mind can't fully process or comprehend maybe that connection between your head and heart. Even your gut, it's just not fully aligned. So you kind of feel like something is missing, and it's an urgent kind of feeling. And I don't need to explain to you or describe what a mental breakdown is. I think you know. And it looks different and it feels different for every person. What has helped me when I am feeling like, wah, well, a few things have helped me. What's good, Kale? Good to see you, fam. One thing that has helped a lot is creating. Creating art has and always will be something that I'll suggest that everybody does. It doesn't have to look like a pen on paper or pencil on paper. It doesn't have to be something even physical. It could be making music. And yeah, I'm kind of feeling led to take my ukulele. Let's see, it's probably not tuned, but close enough. When you're sad or you're mad, just don't worry too much and you'll be okay. Yeah, making music, creating something, but get a piece of clay or some blocks or some rocks or a pair of socks. Just create something. If it's a poem, if it's a book, if it's a something you can wear, if it's something you can share. I know, I'm just rhyming. Rhyming is fun too. Really just allowing yourself to create. What I love about creating is that it takes the emotions that you feel and just the state that you're in, and it manifests it in this new form of perception and sensation that other people can also acknowledge and you can also observe and you can kind of see. So when I was really frustrated, when I was a bit younger, I would just write notes and in the process probably break a pen or two just by the pressure I was pushing down on the paper. But looking back at those notes afterwards, it would feel like I had released those emotions and now I could actually go through the process of acknowledging what was going on. Like before then, it was almost like I was confused while I was feeling that way, and it was adding on to why I was having this breakdown because I couldn't really identify what was the cause, what was the main factor that was causing me to feel this sense of panic or disarray. So creating definitely helps take those emotions, draw them out of you so that you express them and you are almost forced to see what you're working with, what's going on inside of you that needs to be acknowledged. It also makes you just focus more of what you're creating than your emotional state. You go into that flow state of just, singing, drawing, dancing. You are in that state of flow. So you're not really thinking so much of, oh my gosh, I feel like, and you're more into that, okay, how can I express this? What movements, what colors, what sounds? And that's a beautiful thing. So creating is definitely the first and foremost thing that has helped very much. I encourage you right now to pick up something you like to create with, whether it's any form of sensational work, and make some songs or music, or you get the idea. Gosh. Okay. So what next? Saying stuff out loud. What's good out here? Tosan, I feel like you changed your name and I just got the other one. Like Takutama. Okay. Got you, bro. Getting in the shower and having either an ice cold or hot shower is always good. Taking your time in there and think, feel, and express. That's a really great way to just, again, get yourself not really all the way out of your head, but have that other sense of perception on your body that you're kind of just cleansing quite literally those emotions. And that's beautiful. Yes. Thank you. I painted my ukulele probably when I was having a breakdown, and I really do like how it came out. So there's the other upside of when you create, when you're not mentally feeling it, that you'll have some cool stuff to to look at after. So that's a positive side of not so positive thing that happens sometimes in life. What else has helped with dealing with mental breakdowns and leveraging them to live a better life with a little bit more stability in the mind and the emotions? Talking about it, quite honestly, has been something so big. I don't know why as a kid I was so afraid that people would look at me differently if I told them that I was struggling mentally. But it was a really big limiting belief that I held as a child and into adolescence, like that if people knew that I was struggling mentally, if they knew I was feeling overwhelmed, or that I was, going to the bathroom to cry, and it would, they'd be disappointed in me or something like that. And people pleasing was just something that I grew up with. So actually talking about it, I think, blew barriers in my mental health because it allowed me to feel more okay with however I was feeling. And that was a really big one that I know sounds so simple, but it's quite difficult if you've ever, been in that situation. Especially if you're a guy, maybe you just don't want to look weak mentally, but it's so important to actually, share how you're feeling with other people because, you're not alone. Nobody's perfect. We feel emotions, and sometimes it's hard to process them, and, it looks different for different kinds of people, but it's important for you to know that it's okay to express those emotions. And feel like getting out of your head once you're awake is half the game. Otherwise, you can feel so unproductive and even worthless sometimes. Yeah. I think that for me personally, I realized that I kind of had this thing with productivity that, you know, you gotta always do something. And so when I felt like low mentally, I would start doing something to distract myself, and I wouldn't actually go to the root of why I was feeling that way. And so eventually I'd become overwhelmed because maybe what I was doing was now requiring a lot more energy than what I had, because I was also at the same time emotionally processing something that I wasn't fully acknowledging. And therefore it kind of led to this crumbling of just my mind, because I wasn't I wasn't addressing it. And so actually allowing yourself to feel unproductive, I know, crazy, but resting and knowing that you're actually doing the work by processing what's going on. This isn't like an excuse for you to stay in bed all day, because honestly I found that doesn't help. It just makes you feel, again, tireder and worse. So get out of bed, but actively give yourself that space to gently work on processing what's going on emotionally and mentally. You don't have to be productive all the time, and you don't have to try to distract yourself from what's going on mentally. Actually acknowledge it. That's why we meditate, right? So that we can see what's going on in our own mind and better organize and optimize that mind space. So yeah, it's wonderful. Talking is so important. Again, I think this was one of the things I personally had the biggest fear of. I've kind of always been kind of a positive person, and I appreciate that God blessed me with feeling the good vibes and sharing them with others and connecting on that level. Oh, thank you, Kale. I appreciate it. But there was a big part of me that really felt so scared to just be like, hey, I'm actually struggling mentally and I have no idea why, because I thought that at the time, I didn't have any friends growing up, so I thought that, you know, that would make people like run away from me or like just deter. And so internally, all of this started building up, and it was so it was so bad when it was happening. When I'm looking back at it, I was just so irrationally fearful that other people would look down on me because I was struggling mentally, or they would think that I was fake because I seemed to be always positive, but then behind closed doors it was like a different story, and I felt very empty and sad and just like I could not handle what was going on. And yeah, I think eventually I couldn't really hide that I was struggling mentally. I couldn't hide to my peers or my teammates at the time that I was going through it and I didn't know what to do. And I don't know why in my mind, when I started, I remember once having like a panic attack, and I didn't know why. I couldn't identify the cause of these panic attacks until like years after. And I thought that they would kind of just like walk away or tell me to go home. And that it was incredible when I remember a friend like patted me on the shoulder and like just kind of told me that it was gonna be okay. And it was like they gave me permission to feel all of the things that at that point I was just kind of holding in and trying to pretend that I was okay. And then when they said those words, even though like I didn't tell them what was going on, I just said those words, and that was literally all that I needed to hear. And then it was just like all of the emotions, I finally felt like I gave them permission to be felt and to flow through and to be processed. Thank you so much, Kale and Shiloh. Hello. Thank you. And that was a really, really powerful moment for me because it made me realize that, hey, actually, I'm not a piece of crap if I feel like a piece of crap. And it's okay to allow yourself to feel these emotions and to process them. So, sharing them. Now, of course, there are certain people that may not overshare, but my initial fear was that I was just gonna like bring people's vibes down because I was going through such heavy stuff and they couldn't handle it. And I've been on the other end where people tell me like, you can't handle what I'm going through, so I'm not even gonna tell you, like. And there's a lot going on in the mind. And if you can't tell somebody else, then I've realized that you haven't told yourself. If you're not comfy, just sharing that with somebody else. And also, there's the fact that maybe you don't feel like you have somebody that you can tell. But listen, God's always listening to you. Source is always there with you can share the load. You can let people know how you're feeling. And you're not a burden for doing so. Actually, I think it's one of the most important things of the humanity is that we share our emotions. We can feel what other people are feeling. And I know that when I interviewed Takuma I'm sorry, bro, I'm butchering your name until I hear you pronounce it again. I remember doing a podcast episode and you mentioned a great saying like shared pain is cut in half, and I feel like that's totally absolutely like the beauty of humanity is that we're able to share our struggles and share them in a way where we're not dumping our problems on other people, but we're actually giving other people an opportunity to connect with us with their similar struggles so that they don't feel alone and feel more accepted for who they are, you know, the good and the bad. So, yeah, sharing it with other people helps so much. If you don't feel like you have anybody to share with, hit me up, fam. Join the Discord chat or write down. Again, going back to creativity. Create, write down. Share. God's always listening again. Let them know how you're feeling. I think mental breakdowns seem to happen when we are not willing to process a certain emotion. And then it kind of just builds up. And it builds up. And that's just obviously not really what we want. We want to allow ourselves to go with the flow. So that's been a big lesson I've learned. It's okay to not feel okay. It's okay to have mental breakdowns. It's okay. Allow yourself to... Big hug from me to you. Big breaths. We'll take a moment. We'll meditate. And we'll just tap into our mind today. We're going to tap into what's going on up there. We'll tap into our heart. We'll just tap into our solar plexus as well, because that's where ultimately all of this emotion is processed and brought into the light. And a little bit of sacral as well. So, I'm pretty sure if you look at the About page, you will see my email. If not, please DM me on Instagram and I'll send it to you. I got you. In the About page of YouTube, there should be my email there. But yes, okay. As we meditate, man, I've realized a lot of my triggers are things that I can control. Do I want to control them? Not to the point where I'm obsessing over it, but I do feel like it's important to acknowledge, okay, what's mentally kind of making me feel like, and what does that look like? How often does it happen? And then actually allow yourself the opportunity to just be. Gail, I will type up my email, honestly. I'll type it up right here. Give me a second. And what's good, peace? What is good? Much love, by the way. Much love. I just want you to know that I've had situations, even with email, and it's so interesting that you mentioned the email, that I've had mental breakdowns because I don't know how to reply sometimes. But that's my email. If anybody wants to email me, there it is. It's open. And I love and appreciate you, beautiful souls. What is good, peace, and meditative juice? Blessings, so much love. But yeah, I find that a lot of the times I will just overthink communication, and it's okay. I overthink a lot of things. I even overthink my mental breakdowns, which is why we have this video in the first place. But I do hope that this will help serve and just help you guys with what you're going through. Know that you're not alone, and this is a shared journey, because it really is. It's so okay to not feel okay. Like, Good Vibes Delivery Family is made so that we can acknowledge that toxic positivity is a thing, but it's not the thing that we're going for. Like, you don't have to be okay all the time. In fact, I feel like that just makes the times that we are really actually authentically okay, it just makes it that much more better. So we're gonna do a little bit of a meditation to tap into this, and I hope that you can tap into the energy that may be causing you some dis-ease in your own mind. If you know what your triggers are, then that's great. If not, then maybe in this meditation we can just acknowledge them. I have found that like tapping into the soul dialect more has helped as well with any kind of mental distractions or discomfort, mental breakdowns. It's almost like you talk to yourself and you say, hey, energy body that is identified as Esther, what's going on? Why do you feel this way? And then you can zone in and address that energy. Hey, energy that's feels like uneasy stomach feeling and dizziness and confusion and all of that other stuff. Hey, where is your origin? What is the root of the cause here? And then you can tap in deeper and deeper. And I actually just have normal braids for today. It's not a two-strand twist, though. I do like those. Big reminder that reality is a lot more flexible than we think. And a lot of the times we put ourselves in a box and then we freak out because we don't know how to get out. When we were the ones that created that box, and we do have the ability to take apart that box. So, take in big breaths. We're gonna tap into a more meditative space and state of awareness and journey inward for a moment to acknowledge how you are feeling in this moment. Just breathing in with me. Really feeling your inhalation and gently exhaling, feeling the body soften. See how long you can draw out that exhalation, really fully exhaling any stale air within the lungs, pushing down the diaphragm to the base of the spine. We're just breathing in nice and gently and allowing yourself to be present with your body. If you like to adjust yourself so that you're more comfy for this meditation, allow yourself to do so now. Just gently elongating the breath as you do so, really feeling that inhalation and dropping down any resistance as you exhale, allowing your body to just be. So as we tap into this meditation, we'll bring awareness first to our sacral, this space where emotions purely dwell freely. And we'll draw up that energy from the sacral to the heart on our inhalation, centering the energy. If your heart feels any form of heaviness and you wish to release, as you exhale, imagine the heaviness dropping all the way down to your root, the soles of your feet. Just gently breathing and feeling now what's going on in your heart. If you feel like your mind is wandering off as you inhale, we'll bring awareness to our third eye. You can allow it to rise up to the crown if you feel led, and gently exhaling, allowing that energy to drop down through the heart to the sacral once again. On the exhale, within the sacral, we'll ask a question. What triggers your emotional states of overwhelm, confusion, or dis-ease? You may feel the answer. It may be a word. It may be an image or color. You can tap into your heart to center more and breathe into your third eye if you wish for more clarity. We're just getting familiar with this energy. Gudi kara tari yashim babam. Metayito ritayeto rishu te am. Allowing your breath to center in your heart space. Take a few breaths here. And then we'll allow this energy to rise up from our heart space to our third eye. On your inhalation, when you're ready, From here, we're going to search the mind for any triggers that we have identified in the sacral, so that we can rewrite these triggers to assist us in being more at peace through whatever emotional states we may feel. Better processing the energy within. Just take a few breaths and relax your mind. And trust that your body knows how to do exactly what is desired for the most optimal outcome. And take a few breaths and relax, breathing into your third eye. Opening up to your crown if you wish for more assistance. Remind yourself it is okay to feel. And you are equipped to handle all emotions gracefully. As we ground back into our awareness of the present body, our emotions, and the work that we have just done to align ourselves more divinely with all of the emotions, positive or negative, so that we feel equipped and okay through whatever emotional states we may be going through. It's okay. It is okay. So thank you so much. Taking a moment to just almost detach ourselves from any expectations. Yes, this is powerful energy work and inner work that you are doing. and you can release any expectations from yourself in terms of what you want to see happen in your own mental state, and surrender and trust that everything is happening in the most optimal way. That is really, I think, the most beautiful thing. So take a moment. Thank you. I appreciate you joining in today's meditation and Mindset Monday, just chat. I'm gonna let my dog out before he kind of... There you go, buddy. Okay. And I hope that you are okay with whatever emotions you're going through. You're not alone. You're not alone. You can totally email me. I will let you know in advance. I appreciate getting your messages a lot. But it is a trigger I'm working on that sometimes I don't know how to respond, and so my mind explodes. So we're working on that one. And that is something I'm very thankful, because I get to work on it and express that with you, and it's a blessing. So thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for being here and giving me the opportunity to share this experience of life with you. I really appreciate it, and I pray that you enjoy the rest of your day and time wherever you are. And whenever you feel like any kind of mental state of dis-ease or panic or anxiety or just mental breakdown coming along, may this be a reminder that you are equipped and that your body knows what to do, and that these emotions that you feel are just its way of processing and taking care of you in the best way it knows how. So yeah, I love you, I appreciate you, and I honor you. Thank you so much for joining today's Mindset Monday, and may you enjoy the rest of your day.